Great disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, you guys, I usually don't get involved in these stories, but it just came up in my search, and I had to read it and respond. So this comes from clickondetroit.com. I'm not going to say too much because then I will get some type of flag. Just going to read it, pause, make funny noises, and anyone in the know knows. Dispatcher testifies at failing radios hamper deputies' response to Parkland School massacre. Terry Spencer, Associated Press. And we know we can trust them, right? Published June 23rd, 2023. Oh my, so many 23s are there. Is that some kind of a code or correlation? Since we've got June 23 in 2023. I don't know what 353 means, but I'm sure it means something. Okay. Everybody's so serious. Florida, where Scientology is. Shocking. Look at that somber face. Nice blue, navy blue suit, like a blue lodge. Is he touching his eyeglasses? This deputy, is that even a real cop, you guys? He doesn't look like he could chase after anyone. Former Marjorie Stoneman, Douglas High School Resource Officer, Scott Peterson, Wright, enters the courtroom with his defense attorney, Mark Iglarsh, during a break in his trial at the Broward County. Well, my goodness, isn't Broward County where Clearwater is? How interesting is that? Broward County Courthouse in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Okay, it's a little bit a ways from Clearwater, but I'm pretty sure Clearwater's in Broward. Friday, June 23rd, 2023. So many 23s, so little time. Broward County prosecutors charged Peterson. Listen to this. A former Broward Sheriff's Office deputy with criminal charges for failing to enter the 1200 building at the school and confront the chooser. Well, how weird is that, you guys? That's strange, isn't it? So you're telling me the deputy didn't want to go in and protect the children? Why would that be? Inquiring MF minds want to know. Are we heading toward the same type of thing that Australia and the UK were in? Anyone who knows, knows. As he perpetuated the Valentine's Day, imagine somebody perpetuating the Valentine's Day. 2018 mass or you know what, that left 17 DEAD and 1 injured. Wow, look at all the 17s, you guys. It must be an MF coincidence, huh? Amy Beth Bennett, South Florida, Sun Sentinel via AP pool. And we know we can trust them, right? You guys know. If anybody buys that story, I feel sorry for you. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the Florida deputy on trial for allegedly failing to act. Isn't that interesting? During the Parkland school mess of you-know-what, and his colleagues were severely hampered by radios widely known to work poorly in that region. Can you believe this, you guys? The dumbing down of America. The dispatcher who coordinated the response testified Friday before the defense rested its case. You guys believe me now when I say clown courts? Samantha Oakley told former Broward County Deputy Scott Peterson, oh, he only spells his name with one T. I wonder why that is. Jury that even before the February 14th, 2018 MURDER of 17 people at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, always in the public places, isn't it? Isn't it weird? Always in the public places where the innocent children are. It was known to dispatchers, deputies, and administrators that the county's radio system often failed in Parkland. Like, really, you guys, seriously. Hold on. Okay, I'll show that picture at the end. From the first minutes of the SHOOTING, the system repeatedly failed. Isn't that crazy? How radios would just fail? Right when the children are getting you-know-what? As more and more deputies tried to radio information as they arrived at the suburban Fort Lauderdale school, where Peterson was the on-campus deputy. Instead, the deputies got a tone that was the equivalent of a busy signal. I guess that means you can't help the children, huh? I wonder if these kind of things happened in the UK and Australia before all the you-know-whats were taken. Why is it always the schools? Why? Please stop buying the stories, you fools. Wakey, mother effing wakey. Peterson's primary defense to the felony child neglect charges. Oh, wow. They can't get those in Scientology, but they can get them here, I guess. On a alleged deputy. Is that the GUN blanks echo made it impossible for him to pinpoint the you-know-what, and that the radio system's failure made it impossible. It was impossible, you guys, for him to hear what most arriving deputies were seeing and hearing. Guess it sucks to be a child inside there, isn't it? Oakley said deputies could not hear what I was saying, and also deputies wouldn't be able to hear each other. Well, wow, isn't that something else, you guys? When communication is needed and everyone has a fucking cell phone, right? She had only been on the job for 7 months and was on the last shift of her employment probationary period. Well, that's convenient. When she found herself handling the initial response to the MASS you-know-what. Deputy Arthur Perry, who arrived at Stoneman Douglas during the you-know-what, testified Friday that when he tried to use his radio, listen to this, you guys, this is serious, he only got a bonk, bonk, bonk noise. I'm going to say it again, you guys. You know what he got? He got a bonk, bonk, bonk noise. Oakley said that another major problem during the you-know-what was at the 9 blank blank cell phone calls. Oh yeah, you know, cell phones. Students and teachers made from inside the 3-story, 1,200 building, reporting you-know-what, Nicholas Cruz's location. Is Nicholas Cruz with the MK Ultra programs? Just wondering. Location didn't go to the Broward County Dispatch Center, but instead went to Parkland's neighboring city of Coral Springs. Isn't that convenient? Its police officers worked on a separate radio system from the county, and it was transmitting without issues. It must have been a miracle. You guys gotta read between the lines. I can't bring you there. That meant responding Coral Springs officers knew Cruz's location. Wow, it's a miracle, you guys. But Peterson and other Broward deputies were never told about those calls. Blank, blank. The Coral Springs radio calls could have been merged into the Broward system during the you-know-what, but that required a supervisor's order, and it never came. What's going on, you guys? They don't know how to communicate in Broward County? Supervisors nowhere to be found. The radios go bonk, bonk, bonk. And for some bizarre, strange reason, all of the cell phone calls went to the neighboring city? All of that happened in one night? Oakley said she said the merger could have been completed with 3 clicks of a mouse. 3 clicks? Not 2 clicks. Not 1 click, but 3 clicks, you guys. Very magical number. 3. Shortly after Oakley and Perry testified, Peterson attorney Mark Egerlarsh rested his case, with Peterson choosing not to testify. Lots of disorganization going on here. Circuit Judge Martin Feen will instruct the jury not to hold that against him. Closing arguments are scheduled for Monday. Feen rejected Eglarsh's motion to summarily acquit Peterson. Oh, he's going to get acquitted after all that, you guys. Isn't that interesting? Even though he appeared skeptical that the prosecution had proven that the deputy was a caregiver to the students. One of requirements of felony child neglect, you know, the one he gets acquitted on, isn't that always convenient? Florida law defines a caregiver as a parent, adult household member, or other person responsible for a child's welfare. like a guardian. Caregivers are guilty of felony neglect if they fail to make a reasonable effort to protect children or don't provide necessary care. Well, honestly, in Florida, when's the last time we had a conviction? Inquiring MF minds want to know. But this dude got acquitted, so no problem. David S. Weinstein, a Miami defense attorney, not involved in the case, said Peterson's testimony would likely have done more harm than good, given that jurors may also be skeptical that he was a caregiver. Oh, were they skeptical? Did you talk to the jurors? Or are we just surmising that the jurors were skeptical? Surmising, or has that been proven beyond a reasonable doubt? His expected testimony would be, I did all that I thought I could give my training experience and the circumstances. On cross, they, prosecutors, could dig into how unreasonable and negligent his actions were. Weinstein said, now let's go back through this. Listen to this. That's why I had to share this. So they're saying that none of the radios worked. They went bonk, bonk, bonk. They didn't go bonk, or they didn't go bonk, bonk. They went bonk, bonk, bonk. So number 3, thrice. Several of the cell phone calls didn't even go to the right city. Almost like they were like the cell signal was diverted or something. Weird, huh? Oh, snap. Hold on, you guys. Okay, bear with me here. David S. Weinstein, a Miami defense attorney, not involved in the case, said Peterson's testimony would likely have done more harm than good, given that jurors may also be skeptical that he was a caregiver. His expected testimony would be, I did all that I thought I could given my training experience and the circumstances. On cross, they, the prosecutors, could dig into how unreasonable and negligent his actions were, Weinstein said. Eglarch focused on his 2-day defense presentation on the testimony of teachers and students. Does that count for anything anymore? Sure doesn't count in Scientology cases, who were near Peterson and also thought the you-know-whats, the bang-bangs, were being fired outside or in other buildings. All these people and nobody can do anything. Isn't it weird? Yeah, it's weird. If you know, you know. Prosecutors concluded their 2-week presentation Wednesday. They called to the witness stand students, teachers, and law enforcement officers. Trust that. Who have testified about the horror they experienced. The radios don't work, cell phones aren't going to the right city, and the radios go bonk, bonk, bonk. Who have testified about the horror story. Oh, a horror story. I wonder what that's in gematria. In fact, I wonder what horror is in gematria. Might have to look it up. They experienced and how they knew where Cruz was. Some said they knew for certain that the you-know-whats, the Bada were coming from the 1200 building. A lot of 6s in 1200, isn't there? Prosecutors also called the training supervisor, who testified that Peterson did not follow protocols for confronting an active you-know-what. Putting all the blame on him, aren't they? Isn't that convenient? Peterson, 60, is charged with failing to confront Cruz before the blank man reached the classroom, building's 3rd floor. Another 3, you guys. It must be an MF conspiracy, huh? Have we gotten the 33 in here somewhere? Where 6 of the victims, you know what? You know what they believe in, you guys. Peterson is not charged in connection with the deaths of 11 people killed on the 1st floor before he reached the building. You see, it wasn't the deputy's fault. It was this school deputy. It's all his fault, you guys. If convicted, Peterson could technically be sentenced to nearly 100 years in prison. Although a sentence anywhere near the length is unlikely given his clean record. Isn't that convenient, you guys? If you know, you know. If you know, you know. He could also lose his $104,000 annual pension. He had spent nearly 3 decades working at schools, including 9 years. 9 is a significant number, too. At Stoneman Douglas. He retired shortly after the you-know-what and was then fired retroactively. Really sounding like a patsy, isn't he? Crew is a 24-year-old former student, pleaded guilty and received a life sentence last year, avoiding a blank sentence when his jury could not unanimously agree he deserved execution. It all seems so smooth, doesn't it? So I got to share one last thing before I close this out. Okay, I love to include the clown courts. Notice the guy with the orange hair. Notice the guy on the left with the orange vest and the orange bow tie. One of the SHO, you guys know what? Disassociated eyes. And there's more symbolism of the 3. Notice the dark red suit, which is for blood sacrifice. And I tried to highlight these, but the orange, for whatever reason, is not coming up. We've got the reduction, gematria 33. That was in the article. And then horror comes to a 47. What is the 47? Zachary K. Hubbard, just check it out. They always got to leave their stamp. Radio, well, wouldn't you know, comes to a 47. Must be an MF conspiracy. 139 is significant. It has to do with FMs. You guys should know what's up with that. Ordinal 77 is magician number. And what school was it at? Parkland. I'll leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.